Let's make some videos. Hey everybody, Jason here. Today we're going to do the review on my team associated T5m. Now you can see that on this truck I'm actually running the J Concepts finisher body. I like this body. It's by far my favorite body my current favorite body for the stadium trucks. The body that actually comes with the truck is like a really aggressive cab forward, and it's got like a limousine bed that you could put like a freaking hot tub on if you really wanted to, and I'm just not a fan of the stock body. So this is the J Concepts finisher body, and it looks really good. One of my buddies calls this thing the Hello Kitty body because he hates how these mid-motor trucks have the shock towers way at the back, but anyways, nonetheless, this is the body I like. Let me go ahead and take the body off and show you guys what I have in the truck as far as electronics and stuff like that. You can see that in the truck there's actually a Reedy servo and a Reedy 410R black box speed control. This is my Juice RC battery, and this thing's actually works really well for me. It's had really good resistance, and it's been really competitive. And this is a Reedy 17.5 stock motor. Now, most of what's on this truck came with it, although I did make some changes. So let me show you what I ended up changing. I ended up putting the J Concepts finned titanium turnbuckles on there because I just flat out could not take black turnbuckles. I just wanted to bounce my head off a wall every time I looked at those things. And I know these turnbuckles don't make the truck any faster at all, but they sure do look a hell of a lot better, and that matters to me. So the other thing that you'll probably notice, there's really only two other changes that I've made to this truck. One, I've changed the springs around a little bit for the surfaces that I've been racing on, and two, it's actually got a 3-gear transmission in it. And the whole reason I actually decided to run this truck was because of the 3-gear transmission. I actually raced my TLR 22T 2.0 up in Chico with a super high grip surface, and the truck was really competitive, but there's no question that getting out of some of the corners and the top speed down the straightaway just really wasn't competitive with some of the other vehicles that are on the track, mainly the T5Ms rocking slipper eliminators, pucks, and 3-gear transmissions. So since I was coming down to Hot Rod, I thought, you know what, this would be an awesome time to kind of test this new 3-gear truck out. I really didn't have any desire to actually run the T5m because I've enjoyed driving my low-C stadium truck so much, but I thought, you know, if there were ever a time when a 3-gear transmission and some of the options or some of the differences on the T5m could make a difference for me, it would be here and now. And so that's why I decided to build it. Now, I don't have an unboxing video because I actually got the kit. They actually brought the kit to me at Hot Rod. I built the kit in my hotel room and sent it out on the track. Now, before I divulge all the rest of the interview, let me just tell you, I did make one little mistake when I built the kit. Normally, when you put the shocks on these vehicles, almost all vehicles tell you to put the shocks all the way out, mount them all the way out on the front arms and all the way in on the rear arms, and so that's what I did. And the truck seemed good. I never really noticed that the truck was doing something that I should have noticed, and that was that the truck was kind of rolling a little bit too deep and kind of waggling around a little bit, exiting the corners. And so if you look carefully in the running footage that you'll see later on in this video, if you look really carefully, you'll see that the car just kind of rolls a little bit too much. You need chassis roll to create grip a lot of times, but if you overdo it, the car just becomes unsettled, and you're going to see that happen to this truck. Now, luckily enough for me, Spencer Rivkin was out there watching one of my runs, probably because he was up next. And he's like, dude, your truck's rolling way too much. What's going on? So he picks it up off the track as I'm coming down the driver's stand. And he sees that my shocks are all the way in. And he's like, dude, you got to move these out. And so I move them out to the middle hole in the rear arm. And boom, huge difference. Truck was way more stable, had just as much grip, far more predictable. Unfortunately, I didn't have anybody video after that. It just never it never occurred to me to share that with you guys in the video. But just know that that's one of the mistakes I made, and I'm just trying to help you guys avoid making that same mistake. All right, so that's the story. You see what's on the truck. Let's get on with the review. Okay, the build. The build actually went really good with the exception of one thing. The ball cups were really tight. Too tight, as a matter of fact. Now, Brent Tilke, the team manager for Associated, actually kind of showed me his routine. And they kind of have this routine where they squeeze them with pliers and they kind of pop them off and kind of bend them and tweak them. And it did help quite a bit. You shouldn't have to do that, but it did make a difference. I ended up just taking some pliers, just like these right here. And I ended up just going ahead and actually squeezing. See if I can show you guys this without going to the bench. I ended up doing one of these numbers right here. I just grabbed it and squeezed it 3 or 4 times. Went all the way around the truck 3 or 4 times. Because what would happen is I'd squeeze it and the ball cup would get loose, and then it would kind of shrink back down. So I had to do it 3 or 4 times to kind of get it stretched out and loose, but I did get the stock ball cups loose. Now, normally I'd be a lot more pissy, and I'd probably be borderline mean about this situation because it's been going on for a long time. But I knew that this was a possibility. I knew that a lot of these kits have had running changes to the new ball cups that Associated has released. And I just happened, like on my B5M Lite, I got a kit that was perfect. I mean, the ball cups couldn't have been better. And on this kit, I got one where the ball cups were a little bit tight. And so it is what it is. I knew it was a possibility. I'm not thrilled about it. But I was able to get the truck raceable at the event. And now Associated mailed me a package of ball cups to replace these. And so I'll get them put on just as soon as I can. So that's one issue. The one other issue I want to share with you is the front steering blocks. Now, the way this car was designed, it was really designed to have inserts so that you could control how much trail there is in the front axle. And basically, you have the front kingpin and you have the axle, and these inserts allow you to go from 2 to 4 millimeters of trail in 1 millimeter increments. Now, this is a great idea in theory, and what the guys over at Associated wanted to do is they wanted to put more adjustability in these platforms with less cost to the racer, to guys like you and me. And it was a great idea. While these guys probably put the computer drawings, probably made them perfect, the guys that actually make the molds and form the plastics and the heat and all this stuff, plastics can shrink when they're injection molded, and so there's just a lot more to it. And what I have found is that a lot of times you'll end up with the insert wiggling around inside the actual steering block, just like this. You can see the whole actual insert actually plays around inside there. And that's why you want to glue in the inserts on your steering blocks. So what I ended up doing when I built the T5M is I decided that I was going to leave it at 4 millimeter trail for this set of steering blocks. I lined everything up, I took some tire glue, and I just glued those inserts in rock solid so that they'll never move, so that the truck just won't develop that type of slop. So those are really just 2 quick build tips that I'd share with you. Just know that depending on the kit you get, you could end up having to stretch the ball cups or call Associated for a little bit of help. And number 2, glue those pieces in and save yourself the trouble. In my opinion, the cost of buying a new set of, let's just say that you did want to change that. I would rather see you glue the inserts in and spend $5 or $10 to buy another set that are 3 or 2 millimeters of trail. But that's really an adjustment that very few people, number one, it's an adjustment that I don't see people changing all that often. And there's so much more that can be accomplished inside the rest of the truck as far as setup. Camber links and roll centers and springs and shock packages and all this kind of stuff. So that's just my opinion. In general, the build went good. No missing pieces. Instructions were good. Just no complaints. I thought the build went well. Just hopefully you guys can benefit from my little tips right here. So build, boom, good. Okay, let's talk about the performance of the car. Basically, the T5M, just like every other stadium truck, comes with a 4-gear transmission, and so its acceleration is good. I wouldn't call it great, but it's good. Its braking, good. Not great. But the one thing that sets the T5M apart from all the other platforms at this point in time, right here today, is that you can put a 3-gear transmission in it. And that takes its acceleration from good to great. And it takes its braking from good to great because it's more stable and more consistent. So I don't think out of the box, I don't think the truck is leaps and bounds better at acceleration or braking than any of the other trucks. But if you spend 10 or 15 bucks and buy the pieces to put a 3-gear transmission in it, now you've got something. So definitely, so that's where I stand. For acceleration and braking, good out of the box, but easy to make great. Jumping and landing. I thought the truck jumped really well. I thought it landed really well. It was very consistent. Unfortunately, when I had the shocks on the inside, it was a little bit too soft. But once I moved them to the outside, it actually got even better. So I would say just really, I've found the truck easy to jump, easy to land, but it's going to really depend on your shock package, right? I think there are factors that can control how these vehicles land, how much they weigh, the shock package, the shock shaft diameter, and locations and stuff like that. But I think that Associated has already demonstrated to us with their platforms, with the B5, rear motor and the B5M. Now they've released this truck, and now the SC5M is out. I highly doubt that they've messed up the geometry so that you'd ever find that the truck doesn't land the way you want it to, or that you can't get it to land the way you want it to. So I would say landing, good. I wouldn't say great because I kind of missed the shock package a little bit when I was out racing. It's good, but I'm sure that in time you can make it great. Okay, this is a big one. This is cornering. And this truck corners different than the other trucks that I've driven. And now, just so you know, I own the TLR 22T 2.0 and the Kyosho RT6. So what makes it corner differently? Well, the A-arms on the Losi truck are like 10 millimeters longer. So basically what you have are two companies competing head to head with two completely different strategies. Losi says, look, we're going to do the long arm thing. We're going to make the truck, it's going to roll a little bit easier. We're going to make it as easy as we can to drive. And it'll probably develop a little bit more grip on lower traction surfaces. And Associated says, hey, look, we're going to go with the shorter arm, which makes the car respond more quickly. It drives a little bit more stable. It's probably a little bit more likely to slide on lower grip situations. But most of the tracks that we race on are medium to high grip, or at least that's most of the tracks I race on are medium to high grip. So I think the cornering is actually very good, a little bit aggressive out of the box. I think I would actually try to tame it down if I were most of the people driving this thing, because while my hot lap tends to be a little bit faster with the T5M, my 5-minute run tends to be a little bit faster with my Losi truck. Now, I haven't spent that much time tuning this truck. I'm sure that I can make it a little bit more docile and easy to drive. I'm just telling you what I experienced out of the box. So cornering, very good, aggressive, and probably a little bit faster in hot lap than some of the other trucks, but you're gonna have to hang on to it. Okay, let's talk about durability. Okay, in all seriousness, it's good. It's really good. The durability in this truck is actually really, really good. And that's one of the things that I really like about the newest generation of vehicles from almost all of these manufacturers. They've really taken the time to make these vehicles more durable, because a lot of us are running a lot more horsepower than we've ever ran. We have longer runs and we're just harder on stuff. And so I've actually took some pretty gnarly hits, some good cartwheels. I bounced it off the back wall a couple times at Hot Rod in the air, and I didn't break anything. So I would say the durability on this truck is very, very good, if not great. Durability. Okay, let's talk about value. If you've seen any of my other more recent reviews, you know that I feel like value is something that's kind of like multifaceted, right? It's not just value in a very strict sense of the word. There's really what you get in the box, the metal and plastic, and then there's the culture and the environment that the company creates. And I would argue that I don't know that you get the most value in the box as far as money is concerned, but there are some good arguments both ways. So this truck doesn't come with wheels, and you can't make it rear motor, where the Losi truck and the Kyosho truck, the Losi truck comes with wheels and bodies for both mid and rear motor, and the Kyosho truck, I think it came with wheels but no body, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I built my Kyosho truck. But I will say this. First of all, I don't know anybody that runs a rear motor 22T 2.0. So even though you get more in the box, you don't really need it. So unless you're going to sell it off or save it for a rainy day, or maybe go race somewhere where there's a super loose track, that's almost value wasted. Now, I'm not picking on Losi. I love my Losi truck and I love the option that I can make it rear motor. I just don't ever think that I will, right? So the value in this kit, value, obviously, we've talked about what's in the box. I wish it would have came with like titanium turnbuckle. I hope that in the future they do like a T5m Lite, just like they did the B5m Lite, because that would be legendary. I mean, again, they would be so far ahead of the game that there would be no question as to value and what you get. But anyways, I digress. The only thing that I would have liked to have seen different in this kit at this price point is they should have sent wheels with it, right? It's like $279. You should have got a pair of wheels. You should have got a set of wheels with the truck, and that's it. I really wouldn't have any gripes. So my only gripes about what you get in the box are, dude, why no wheels? Now we get on to the strength side of value for Associated. Nobody has a stronger sponsorship driver network. Nobody does. It's just, I've been all over the country, and I can tell you that there are a few tracks that have some TLR following, but nowhere seems to have the following and the driver support that Associated has. Not only that, but this platform, they're ahead of the game when it comes to everybody else. If you are a hardcore stock racer, I mean, yes, the TLR truck is good, but it still has a 4-gear. There is no 3-gear option. And Associated is aggressively pursuing new options for a lot of their kits. These aluminum axles and the titanium screw kits that they offer. And Horizon just hasn't done that with the TLR brand yet. So I'm going to rank these kits based on in two different categories. I'm going to rank them in what's in the box value and then total value. For what you get in the box, I would rank the Kyosho truck last because it's really expensive and it kind of needs some stuff to kind of go fast. I would rank the T5M second, and I would rank the Losi first for what you get in the box. But when you want to rank the global experience, it's a far different story. Kyosho, unfortunately, is still last. And they're high quality products, but they just don't have a super big factory team. But then you have TLR, which has a really good product that comes in the box, but their factory team is pretty thin in most places. And then you have Associated. And here's the difference. If you were to measure the gaps between what you get in the box and the gaps in like the whole global support, you know, parts on the wall type issues and upgradability issues, I think that it still puts the T5m as the best overall value, right? If you only care about what comes in the box, then maybe the TLR22T 2.0 is a better option for you. But if you're a dedicated racer and you want to go fast and you want to learn and grow and just enjoy this hobby, the T5m probably could be a better option for you just because of the driver network, the option parts like the 3 gear and stuff like that. I just think that it's going to make a big difference. So I know that what a lot of people really wanted me to do here in this review was kind of compare these 3 trucks. So I've tried to do it as fairly as I can. I honestly, there are things I really enjoyed about my Kyosho truck. I really enjoyed the quick release wheels and stuff like that. I really enjoyed the high build quality and the aluminum chassis and the shocks and all that stuff. But it all comes down to dollars and cents. You know, we only have so much money to go out and go racing. And so I think I guess here's my ultimate conclusion. Let's just go ahead and wrap this sucker up right here, right now. Would I recommend that someone go out and buy a T5m? Yes, I would. I think that the T5m happens to work better on medium to high grip surfaces. I think that if you're a stock racer, it might be a little bit better of a choice because you can get the 3-gear transmission and things like that, which will help with acceleration and not only with speed and like not only with the you know, the aggressiveness of the acceleration and the stability under braking, but it's just less weight. But if you're a diehard either outdoor racer, I got a lot of fingers going on here. If you're either a diehard outdoor racer or you are a mod racer, you may want to consider the 22T 2.0 just because it's a little bit easier to drive. So that's it. That's been my review on the T5m. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you learned a little something. I hope you enjoyed watching this video just as much as I enjoyed making it. And that'll be that. Let's go ahead and watch this thing on the track, do a few laps. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Let's get our marshals back out there, guys. All marshals, we got cars stuck everywhere. Where are my marshals? 7, 8, 9, 10.
Matthew Horrius.
Okay, here we go with race number 22. Give those guys a couple laps to get things situated.
I just want to say thanks again for watching my videos. I appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed this video, you'd be doing me a huge favor if you could either like, comment, or even better, subscribe. I post a lot of stuff on social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that. So if you want to catch up with me, I'll post this stuff up for you. And you can come on over, add me as a friend, follow me on Instagram, and you'll be able to see things that just don't make it to YouTube. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.